Hello, everyone. I want to read today from 1 Samuel 17. I think I'm going to read 21 through 29 in the King James Version of the Bible. And it says, "For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid." Sore afraid. Have you ever been sore afraid? I mean, you're afraid, that's for a moment, but sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, "Have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up, and it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel." And David spake to the man that stood by him, and saying, "What shall be done to this man that killeth the Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" And the people answered him after this manner, saying, "So shall it be done to the man that killeth him." And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, "Why camest thou down hither? And whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightst see the battle." And David said, "What have I now done? Is there now not a cause?" That's what I want to speak to you about today. Is there not a cause? Sometimes we're thrown into a battle that we didn't have nothing to do with. We didn't ask for it. We didn't see it coming. We didn't ask for the battle. We didn't pick the battle. We didn't choose it. It picked us, looked like. We don't get to choose a lot of things. Adversity, trials, etc. Like I say, they pick us. We don't get to choose a lot of things. We don't get to choose mamas. No, I don't want that one. I'll take that lady right over there. I don't want that mama there. You don't get to choose. I think about that often. I didn't get to choose where I was born or anything like that. And real beautiful people, they act stuck up like they got to choose pretty. That they went out to the store and picked it out. You don't get to choose that. And they look at ugly people like they chose to be ugly. Nobody would do that. You don't get to pick if you got big ears or little ears. You just wake up with it. Whatever it is, you just have to deal with it. It's not like all the babies get together and one of them says, "I think I'll just choose a crackhead mama or a crystal meth mother." We don't do that. We don't choose if we get to be raised with alcoholic parents or raised in domestic violence. And now you got to fight with something you didn't even choose. It's different than the battles you get to pick. You wake up in a situation that, first of all, not only did you not pick it or choose it, you don't understand it. Why does daddy hurt mama? None of us get to choose our abuser. All of us are trying to recover for something we didn't even choose. It's not like I ordered it from a catalog or something, you know. You just have to deal with it once it shows up on your doorstep. Nobody escapes it. Everybody's got something that they didn't choose that they got to deal with. There's a reason that not one baby that I've ever heard of that's ever been born that was laughing. They're crying. They're coming into a battle, a stress that they didn't even get to choose. David stepped in a battle that he didn't even choose. And if the truth be told, and it's not always is by the world, I'll tell you that, we will be fighting a battle the rest of our life. Lord, who hath believed our report? It's hard to believe God, but we will believe about anyone else. We'll trust all kind of people, but it's hard for us to believe in God and trust in God. Somebody comes on the TV, I've seen them, like that fella that used to be on there, he passed away, Billy Mays or whatever, and they're selling you something, and you don't even know the person, and he tells you that it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you jump higher. It's going to make you have more energy. And then and we trust pilots and surgeons and all kind of people. And then the man on the TV tells you that if you order that in the next 5 minutes, he's going to send you two at $19.95, not just one, $19.99, not just one. And there we do. We buy that. But the man of God himself, is very difficult for us to trust, even though his word is guaranteed and promised it to us. We don't get to pick the devil we fight. And every level has a new devil. The more, when you move up, there's one that's tougher than the one you just left. Every time you start to do something, let me tell you, you can't do it. You don't have it, or you can't be it or become it. All David was supposed to do was to be a gopher. He's just supposed to take lunch to his brothers and come right back home. David, go down here and take this cheese to your brothers and come right on back. Now, we got plenty more work for you to do, and these sheep feed you, or something like that. And he was a fetch it boy, go fetch it boy, a gopher. I remember when I was in the Army, the man said he was going to try me in this personnel office. And he said, do you know what a gopher is? And I said, no, sir. He said, that's go for this, go for that. So back then they could smoke in the office. He did. And I kept his ashtrays empty, and I kept his garbage cans empty. I kept his coffee cup full. So, and that got me out of orders to Vietnam and then later on South Korea. So gopher's good for a time. Have you ever started the day with one thing planned and then that's not how it turned out, that's not how it went? And how it went, a lot of times can change your life. Goliath wasn't even on in David's date book, on his calendar. He didn't pick up his phone and say, have a reminder on the phone about Goliath. He didn't even know that Goliath was going to be there. Goliath, I don't even know Goliath. Who is this and what's it all about? But everybody has a Goliath. Everybody has your giant and your devil to fight. I wasn't planning on going to Gath. And you tell me that's where Goliath was from. I'm not planning on going to Gath. But Gath came to David, is what happened. Gath found me. And Gath sure can find you. They'll find every one of us. And I was telling you a while ago, it said they were sore afraid. Afraid is just, have you ever been sore afraid? Afraid is just for a moment, but sore afraid, that lingers on and on and on, and it lingers on. And it said that if his prize for killing the giant was make him free in Israel, his house, no taxes. That's a pretty good deal right there. If you kill this, you change your family's environment, put yourself on a different trajectory. Hey, David, don't you understand, man? You're not even in the army. What are you talking about? You're going to fight Goliath. You're not even a part of this. You hadn't been drafted. You hadn't signed up. And who do you think you are? And the other men, they've been trained in warfare. hand-to-hand combat. You've just been tending sheep. And giants are always at the gate. That's how you know that you just about arrived. It's when you see the Goliaths and the giants standing there guarding the gate to the things you need, you know that you're almost there. If you kill your giant, you get it all. Am I the only one that's got a giant standing between me and what I'm after? Just like David's brothers, every time you start to do something great, there's always someone going to remind you to stay in your place. You ever heard that? Felt the feeling from people? Just stay in your place. I remember, people meet you in prison. They won't never let you out. If that's where they first met you. I remember when I was a young man, me and Brother Jack Kelly, we sat on the piano bench at Huntsville, and then we both got into ministry. And some people probably still look at us and remember us on the piano bench, and it's hard for them to let us get off that bench, I'm sure. But all of this naysaying didn't. Well, the giant said plenty, but that was all coming from the brother that he came to bring lunch to. That's some kind of appreciation, ain't it? You come to feed somebody and bring them lunch, and then they start with wanting you to keep your place. How can you eat my lunch and talk against my destiny like you're doing? Eliab was related to David's history, but not to David's destiny. To his history, but not his destiny. People in my past, the people I grew up with, can't to relate to my now, and people that's from my now can't relate to my past. Eliab told David to go back home and to be what Eliab perceived for him to be. What Eliab perceived for him to be. Your sheep's calling you, David. Are your sheep calling you? Are your sheep calling you? Your past is calling you and hindering you from moving to your future. There's always someone around to remind you of your place. You have no business here. Who do you think you are? It's not the voice of Goliath, but it's your brother. Not your enemy that reproached you, then I could have borne it. But it was mine own equal. It was my brother. That's who hurts. You go down here somewhere and you don't even know the people and they hurt your feelings. You get over that, but it's the people you go to church with, the ones you love, that's where it's really tough. You have to fight with those that you came to feed and help. A minister does sometimes. You have to fight with the people that you come to help and feed. They'll remind you how they met you and how they knew you. I can throw rocks at Goliath, but I can't throw rocks at my brother. Is there not a cause, or in other words, ain't it worth it? My father is tied to it, so ain't it worth it? Until you decide it's worth it, you won't endure what you have to endure to get it. The very me they rejected has become the chief cornerstone. And that sounds familiar. David and the son of David, Jesus, chief cornerstone. Sometimes you can't see your destiny because there's something blocking your view. It's like an eclipse, and it's blocking your view and your destiny. So to find the thing that's bigger than the thing that you're afraid of. Enough. You have to believe that who you are is enough, and you have to believe that God is more than enough. I don't need Eliab to believe in me. I don't need Saul's armor. They tried to give that to him. I have a rock like David did, and that rock is Jesus. Having a rock isn't enough, though, if I don't sling it. Throw that rock. The place of your greatest battle is your shifting place, your transition. your kid will turn into a king at your shifting place. I've enjoyed this today. I sure hope that it's going to mean something to you and it helped you. May God bless you until we do another one of these.